Hey, want to say good afternoon, Facebook family. Go ahead on and tag and share. Let's get everybody on. We've got an exciting broadcast today. Want to say good afternoon, Trina Jackson. Hey, man, what an amazing word. Stephanie, how are you? Hey, let's get everybody on today. We are excited about today. Mother Pat, how you doing? God bless you. Let's get everybody on. We are excited about today. This is the day the Lord made. Go ahead on and share. Go ahead on and share. Like, and for those of you who are tuned in, I want to get your comments. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Want to get your comments on what you thought about this weekend of FAMU's homecoming. Hey, Sister Wilson, how are you? Glad to have you tuned in today. Hey, listen, we're going to be talking about some interesting things that are going on in and around our city. And I've got some special guests that's going to be joining me today. And listen, one of the things that I do know, it's Sunday, it's Tuesday, and then it's Wednesday. Want to say good afternoon to you. Hey, go ahead on, like, tag, and share. Let's get everybody in for what I want to declare is going to be an amazing broadcast today. Good afternoon to you. And we're getting ready to get the broadcast going. Tag, share, get your friends on for Wake Up Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the news that has come around in Virginia. There's a new governor. And I tell you, hey, what's up, my man? My man from the barbershop, the mobile barbershop guy. Hey, man, glad to have you tuned in with us, man. Hey, man, Tavari. Mobile barbershop, man. He wherever you are and you need it done, all you got to do is give him a call. He gonna drive up on you. You better believe it. But it's amazing that we've got to register. We got to stay excited about elections. We got to stay excited about voting because that is important. So you can't miss out on the voting. If you can hear me, make sure you put some hearts on that screen. Okay, you can. All right, great. That's amazing. Hey, man. Trina, what an amazing word on last night. Thank you so much for sharing. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm a survivor. I think people need to know that. Hey, Lamonte, man, bless you. Want to thank you so much for joining in, Lamonte. We had an amazing weekend. I didn't hear of no shootings, no nothing going on, Lamonte. So I think we did an amazing job in doing what needs to be done. I mean, we can stop the violence in our community. I think we as a people, hey, Kim Jones, how are you? God bless you. I think we as a people must become just more active in our voices. It's Wake Up Wednesday. And I'm on once again. That's right. Wake up. Shan, how are you? Wake Up Wednesday. Want to say good afternoon to you. Get your friends on, get your neighbors on. Thank you, Mother Pat. Hey, Lamonte, you're right, man. I want you to take down this number, Lamonte, and give me a call. Want to say good afternoon and once again, welcome to, that's right, Wake Up Wednesday. It's informative, it's inspiring, it's motivational, it's challenging right here on, I want to just declare the most talked about show on 95.3 in the afternoon. That's right, it's Wake Up Wednesday. We're waking you up from what I want to call a long, exciting homecoming weekend. But guess what? You got to wake up because there's still work to do. Hey, listen, I'm going to be talking to the man himself, the man behind what has happened here at the station. And we're going to talk a little bit about what happened this weekend. That's right. You hear it in the background, what it is. That's right. The streets of Tallahassee was flooded with opportunities for so many. That's right. Businesses were able to see increase, students, alumni, community. And guess what? It was all done in such a wonderful spirit. Let me hit a band one more time. Here we go. One time for FAMU. Hey, listen, article in the newspaper. Coach Willie Simmons is the winningest coach in the state of Florida. Listen, we're going to talk a little bit about homecoming weekend. Joining me in the conversation is none other than the man himself, the man behind the magic here at 95.3 FM, Darius Doc D. Want to say good afternoon, Doc D. How are you? Man, I tell you, I know it was a long weekend for you, man, because it seemed like every corner I turned, I saw you doing something. When you look at what happened this past weekend for FAMU homecoming, I mean, how did it? I mean, you know, not only are you a voice here on the station, but you're in the community. You're involved in events. You're involved in so many planning activities. And when you look at what took place on this weekend, I mean, what would you say to the community as a whole? Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, one of the things that I was able to experience, Doc, I was able to experience a sense of so much unity. It seemed like there was just a feeling of camaraderie in the atmosphere. We felt like one big community. Oh my, now that don't hurt nothing. Hey, well, Doc, listen, I'm gonna have to press rewind because my Facebook audience said they can't hear you, and I want them to hear you because if y'all can hear him now, make yeah, make sure they can hear you. Okay, if y'all can hear him now, just put some hearts on the screen. So, Doc, let's kind of rewind. But FAMU homecoming, a tremendous outpour of support. Alumni came in, students, the community was heavily engaged. I mean, you gotta love it. It's the highest on the top of Seven Hills, and you know, one of the things that I just know put so much light and so much brightness on the hill was the fact that they uncovered the Will Packer Amphitheater, and wasn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Wow. Well, listen, we're having just a little bit of difficulty. I know those on the airways can hear us, but our Facebook audience still can't hear. So we're going to figure out how to get y'all tuned in, because certainly I don't want you to miss a moment of Wake Up Wednesday, because there is so much we're going to be talking about. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break, but we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Keep it locked right here. It's 95.3 FM. I'm Greg James, and we're talking Wake Up Wednesday with Darius.D. Okay, y'all still can't hear. Hold tight, hold tight. We're gonna get you going. Every day. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Facebook family? Can you hear now? He's right beside me. Hold my hand in the valley. Lost the night found me. Don't know where I would be. Okay, I need somebody to say. Okay, you can hear now. Okay, great, Stephanie. Well, listen, we're back. We're back. Little technical difficulties, but I've got to get you to hear this voice. That's Darius.D. Just giving us, we just talking about what happened over the weekend, family homecoming, how businesses were truly impacted by the influx that came into our city. Doc, I mean, after going through the pandemic last year, no parade, no homecoming, and this year, I mean, people just emerged into the city from everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course, with the Frenchtown Rising and things of that nature, getting together, it just really kind of, I'm not gonna say it felt totally like normal, but it was close to it. And folks, I think all of that, being tied up for the past couple of years, it just really kind of felt good to be out. And some still safe, still wearing your mask and stuff, but it felt good to be out. Now, I will say this: homecoming at the game, because I was there. I was amongst the 30-some thousand in the stands. Listen, it was so much positive energy in there. I don't think I had my mask pulled up. I was too busy yelling.
Hey, let's you know what I tell you, man.
On myself now.
But it's okay, because I tell you, one of the things that I want to say and give a big shout out to the band director, because we all know that the Grambling band would have been here. Yeah, we understand the tragedy that happened, but can you imagine how the band director and his team formulated a moment to remember that young man? And that's what makes the Marching 100 so amazing. I mean, I just thought that was I was watching at one of the local sports bars. I mean, because believe it or not, I did my check. So I found one that I sat down and watched the game at, and it was just amazing. But to see the band do what they did, man, that was amazing.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to that, to that person and their family, and then the entire band. As well, that's very unfortunate. And matter of fact, one of the guys in my band in Tallahassee Nights Live, we were in rehearsal, and he's, a grad. He knew about it. He said, yeah, man. He said, that's tough when you lose a bandmate, you know, in that fashion. So, yeah, heart goes out to him.
Yeah, amen. And you know, Doc, I mean, one of the things that I think that we should really be proud of here in the city is that there were so many activities going on and there was so much support. I mean, the Frenchtown Rising was amazing. I know that all the vendors there were just absolutely amazing in their work, and it was just a great time to see what we saw. We definitely had an economy boost when it comes to businesses and when it comes to what took place this past weekend. So big shout out to you, man, for I mean, the only thing I think was missing on the van, we got to get some feet put on it. I mean, did I say feet?
Yeah, we got to get some feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. And I love to have the entire staff, everyone from from the station next year. Get in the parade. We'll have to get like a little bigger float, but you got to get up and be in line at 5 a.m. You can do that, Pastor?
Yeah, man. Listen, I tried. I was trying, Doc. Believe me, you know, last year we was in the parade, but I was trying this year. And I discovered that being out on Friday night, that I'm not as young as I used to be. I rolled over and Ben said, lay back down. And Gay said, you ain't going nowhere.
I was almost in the same boat, but I was so glad to was able to get up, man. And it was a great parade. And I love it going through Florida A&M campus so you can see the campus. And I just think it was a great thing.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the things that I want to say, man, the vehicle that has been wrapped that identifies Hallelujah 95.3, it really made a major statement. I saw so many people going live till I thought one time you had hydraulics on it. You was going to lift it up and music was going to come from up underneath it.
We got some other things that we taking care of first, but we might get some hydraulics on it.
Amen. Hey, certainly want to thank you so much, man, for all you do. And certainly it was an amazing weekend. Hey, listen, don't go nowhere. Joining me on the phone line is a good friend of mine. He is the chairperson for the Florida Blue activities, not the Florida Blue, the Black Business Expo that took place in Jacksonville, Florida. My good friend, Mensa Pollock. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you doing, Pastor Greg?
Man, I am absolutely phenomenal. You're out of Duval.
Look at you. You know how to say it. Huh? Everybody don't know how to say that Duval like that. That's awesome.
Well, man, listen, I'm delighted to have you here. You're in our city, and we're going to talk about why you're in our city. But first of all, let's talk about the fact that you you organized the Florida Black Business Expo in Jacksonville this past weekend. Talk about that and what did that do for businesses in Jacksonville and how did, all of that come about?
Well, the Florida Black Expo has been around for about 17 years. It was founded by a guy named Darren Thomas. He was the founder of the Florida Black Pages, which were putting businesses inside of this, like a little yellow page book of sorts. His vision was, how can we take it from the pages into reality so people can get a chance to be exposed directly to the different businesses and a way for the businesses to be able to generate, kind of circulating the dollar. And that vision was born. They had been around. It's the 5th largest event that our convention center even holds. And there's nothing like the Florida Black Expo in this region. Probably the closest thing to the Florida Black Expo would be like the Essence Music Festival. It's days of empowerment, entertainment. It's packed with workshops, seminars. It's packed with celebrities, vendors, exhibitors, chef competitions, and the top 20 under 40. And this year, I was so fortunate to be a part of the team to bring it back. The Pollard Group, our outreach and marketing firm, partnered with Thomas Media Group to bring back the Florida Black Expo. And after 17, we had Hurricane Michael and Irma. They caused the expo to sit on the sidelines. So in 2020, we said, we'll bring it back. And then COVID came.
Wow.
And so in 21, we'll bring it back. And then the Delta variant came. And our team and our advisory board, we tried to make decisions. Maybe we should just can this event. And someone said, no, we got to do it. We said, why? Because it represents resiliency. And if we can do it, and we can fight back, give some similar success, give some folks hope, they'll realize and believe and have hope that things could get back to normal or some type of normal as well. And that's why we did the Florida Black Expo this year. And it was a huge success.
Man.
And
Yeah.
I want to thank people in Tallahassee for in the surrounding areas for coming out as well too, because this year, through a partnership with iHeartMedia, we were able to do outreach in the Tallahassee area down to Orlando. And it's our dream to make this a destination event. The more y'all come out next year.
Wow. Well, listen, man, I want to tell you that it was definitely amazing. And because, you know, after, I guess, being silent with the expo for 5 years, it took a major leap of faith. And what was so amazing to see that exhibit hall filled with so many businesses, and to see the support that came from not only just the Duval area, but from the surrounding counties. And I'm sure it must have made your team and all of the partners and your sponsors really, really happy just to see the kind of energy that was walking into the convention center. You're
absolutely right. You sound like, you know, some of the testimonies that we heard. Sponsors came and said that to us. This is great. We're glad we're back to be able to do this, because, you know, coming off where, you know, culturally sensitive time and diversity, equity, and inclusion, corporations have been looking for a way to express that they want to give back, that they want to bridge a gap. And this event allowed them to do it. And when it came to the exhibitors, they had been working from home or doing drop shipment. This gave a chance for them to come out, showcase, and be up and close with people again. I mean, participants, they were looking for something to do. We just got to get out of the cave. And so you're 100% right. That's what happened. And, you know, there was so much to be done there. I mean, there were hours upon hours. I mean, it's like every hour you had major events that was happening, center stage, thousands upon thousands of people entered in and out of the convention center. It was just amazing. As a matter of fact, so amazing until I began to mull and kind of like chew on the ideal of what it would look like to do something like that in Tallahassee. But then as I drove back to Tallahassee, I said, well, maybe that's a whole lot of work, so I better not eat. Well, we want just Tallahassee to come. We want more of Tallahassee, more surrounding counties, more people to come. You know, if you study what the Essence Festival has meant for New Orleans economically, it has been an example for, you know, other cities and other states. And I love the great city of Florida. One of the reasons I'm here now is because I'm filing to run for House District 13.
As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about that. So you know what? I should have sent you a cue card to say, let me introduce that, but you went on and did it. So,
so well, it kind of just ties together, because when you think about, you know, economic growth for areas, for counties, for cities, for states, you know, some of the things that do it is our tourism division. It's what events happen in your place, right? You know, we just, you know, got Florida Classic coming up. People come from all over different places to come, and that economically impacts Orlando and the surrounding areas and the great state of Florida. Same thing happens in Miami with the Jazz in the Garden. Well, the Florida Black Expo has that same potential where we'll be attracting people from the Carolinas, from Georgia, Alabama, things all over. And that will affect Jacksonville, surrounding area, Tallahassee, vendors, if you just name it. And so, you know, it's those kind of things that we have to get behind as counties and as residents, just so that we can, you know, have a product that grows and that shines. But, you know, just think again, Pastor Craig, we had James Fortune, Isaac Curry, we had Tweet, we had Angela Yee. So we had, you know, celebrities that were willing to travel in the midst of COVID to come give people hope. As we continue to grow, we'll be able to still bring those same kind of calibers of artists and that kind of thing to an event like that. So don't you worry about doing it. We'll just come on your show and we'll tell everybody. We'll do that more often. Give away free tickets and all that kind of stuff. Get some exhibitors from Tallahassee down there. How about that?
Well, man, I tell you, that sounds amazing. And, you know, one of the things that would really, you know, resonating with me while you was talking was the fact that I was reflecting on this past weekend, the homecoming event, and the number of people that, you know, came to the city. Hotels were packed out, restaurants. I mean, you know, vendors were able to, you know, have, I mean, it was just amazing to see how the dollar was circulating, especially on the FAMU campus, because on that campus, the majority of the vendors looked it like you, looked it like me, and the people who were spending their dollars looked it like you, looked it like me. But the beauty of it is that they were supporting those vendors, and to hear what you said, with the Florida Black Expo. I'm saying to myself as I hear you talk, what it would look like if we just decided in the city of Tallahassee to just have a vendors day with African American vendors, with the Tallahassee Nights TNL, with local artists. I mean, just a day where we just take time to spend $10 with every vendor, or just come out with $10. How would that help boost small businesses?
It'd be amazing. You know, in our city, one of our state representatives, Angie Nixon, she puts on an event called the Melanin Market, and she's doing it more frequently, and it's growing and growing. People are doing it, and those models, I mean, can happen here and other, you know, and other people in other counties that just coming together, you know, to make that possible. You know, Pastor Greg, you said you're gonna bring in that cue card. I got it. I guess I'll do a shameless plug since all the thousands of people listen to your station, and they'll get a sneak peek that, you know, I'm filing a run for House seat District 13. So that's going to be wonderful, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some public policy to Jacksonville. And then I'll be able to be here to represent other cities that are similar to Jacksonville in our great state of Florida.
Wow.
So excited about everything.
So that's what got you in Tallahassee today to file for state representative seat House 13. That's it. But so let me
friends like yourself, man.
Well, I mean, I'm excited about seeing you tonight because we will be sitting down talking. But let me ask you this: when you look at the political landscape that we're in now, I mean, very tough defeat that took place in Virginia on last evening, and when we look at now where we are, how vitally important is it for those who are vying for office, those who are in office, to really adhere to what the needs of the people are?
You know, I think it's so important for people to, I mean, that's what we put here for, just like you, Pastor. You know, just to shepherd the people, to listen to the people, to make a difference. You know, each one reach one, right? So no one person can do it. And so if elected officials can work together and can mobilize their communities, you know, that wouldn't happen, and more people can get the things that they're asking for, and they get their needs met. You got to also, you know, people speak different languages too, right? You know, like great book, Marriage with Love Languages, right?
Right.
If you don't take the time to realize that every constituent is different, and you got to listen to them in the way that they speak to hear what they really are trying to say, I think if you can do that, then people will respond and they'll come out to the poll. I think sometimes we do rallies and we make people hopeful, but then sometimes we get in seats and then we cause people to be hopeless.
Wow.
And so if they end up being hopeless, they're not going to go out and vote, and they're going to go out and make a difference. They're going to go out and change. They're going to say, oh man, this ain't going to matter. It's not going to matter if I do it. But I'm telling you, anybody can hear the sound of my voice, your vote matters, because, you know, like for instance, who's in Virginia, I have a governor up there that, that's a, supporter of, what we might see again with Trump, that, we can complain about what we didn't like that we saw that took place in that January, but then if we don't go out, we're saying that we want to see it again. So the politician has to take responsibility, the residents, the voters have to take responsibility, and those that hadn't registered, the people that are registered have to take time to go back and get them. But, it goes beyond this, the GOTV too. You got to tell people why. People want to know why. Like, okay, register, why? Help people see
the importance of
maybe some small public policy. Because
Absolutely.
Public policy is everywhere. The seatbelt you put on, right? The airbag. Sometimes people blow this up and they think it's super complicated with bills and legislation, but it's the simple things. Everything you do, from the tag in your pillow to say don't pull it off. It's there for a safety purpose, right?
Absolutely.
So people can dial down and you can make politics practical. I think people will embrace it more.
Wow. Well, listen, man, I'm excited to know that you're getting ready to file, and I'm excited to know that your voice is a voice that needs to be in our capital. It needs to be heard. It needs to be a voice that really resonates, because I just believe that we're in a moment and we're in an hour where that we cannot continue to put politics over people, nor can we put profits over people. It's got to be people first that drives you for the work in the political arena. So listen, man, my prayers are with you. My support is with you for whatever I can do to help facilitate you becoming the next state rep in Jacksonville. I don't have a whole lot of friends in Jacksonville, but my voice is loud. So with a loud voice, I may be able to reach more than the 2 friends I have in Jacksonville.
Man, you know people everywhere, man. God has used you mightily, man, and let your light keep shining. Great job you're doing with your radio show and the work that you're doing in the community. God bless you.
Well, thank you so much. That's Vincent Pollard from Duval. He's running for House seat. He's filing, and he's getting ready to get on the march. Hey, keep it locked right here. Don't go nowhere. Hey, we may have a chance to talk about the fact that we still have 2 commissioners, Jerry Matlow and Jacqueline Porter, who has, when it comes to the city manager and them being able to give a real review of him, they put F's on the report card. We got to figure out why is that being done. If our city's going to get better, hey, we all got to work hand in hand. We may disagree, but don't let our disagreement cause division. Let's keep it locked right here. 95.3 is Wake Up Wednesday. I'll be right back. We're going in.
No one can take his place. No one can take his place. No one can defeat him. Come on, say it if you believe it. No one can take his place. Come on. No one can take his place. He is unbeatable. Say he is unbeatable. He is a strong tower. Come on. He is a strong tower. He is unbeatable. He is a strong tower. Come on. He'll always win. Why? Because he's undefeated.
That's right. We're talking about what's going on in and around our city. And certainly we looked at the fact that we have our city manager who review came forth, and we understand that Mr. Commissioner Jerry Matlow and Commissioner Jack Porter had a different grade that they wanted to put on the report card. And we look at what's going on in our city, even with law enforcement, with economic development, and they just feel and believe that things are not being done as they should. But I see so much happening in our city. So I'm going to get a chance to talk with both of them real soon and find out why are they continually giving the city manager Fs. I mean, I really can't understand it, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. Somebody just told me the other day that it takes all of us to make everything work the way it needs to work. And sometimes we have to sit down and hear and really have an ear to be open to discussions that are going on. So we're going to talk more about that. I got another caller on the line, so I guess that conversation got saved by grace. All right. Want to say good afternoon to Dr. Eric Thomas. How are you, sir?
Peace and blessings, Pastor James. How are you, man?
Man, I am absolutely phenomenal. How are you?
I can't complain. It wouldn't change a thing.
I know. Hey, listen, I just was talking about some of the politics that are going on here in our city, talking about what we see happening in the city with our commissioners who are, adamant about their positions of disgruntlement. And, when we look at city government and kingdom government, and I'm talking to a kingdom influencer, I'm talking to a marketplace apostle, I'm talking to someone who understands the work of how government operates in the kingdom. And when we look at government in our cities, in our state, Doc, what must the kingdom do to make sure that the city and the state government falls in line with the kingdom agenda?
Yes, you're a prime example of what we need to be doing. All of us need to be doing more. One of the reasons I miss the capital city is stay in proximity, man. We stay within the four walls because it's a comfort zone for us. We stay on our knees so long because it's a comfort zone for us. But, in order to get in front of a Pharaoh to say, let my people go, God put Moses in proximity, had him be raised there. In order for Joseph to be the prince of Egypt, he had to be first a prisoner of it to even understand the dynamics of how government works. I remember you said one day when I was there in Tallahassee, man, we were talking about how that buzzword of churches are saying, I don't do church, I do kingdom. And you said these words, I'll never forget it, Greg. You said, most pastors don't even know how our government is set up. So how would they understand how the kingdom operates?
Absolutely. And I learned that, Doc, because of my experience on the backside of the desert. And on the backside of the desert, in that isolated place that I was in, I learned so much about government, and I learned so much about how it was set up. So therefore, when you understand the structure of it, then you understand what kingdom looks like, what it feels like. So man, I tell you, here we are in a very crucial time, and city government, state government, national government as a whole, the voices of God's people must be heard in these city halls, in these state capitals, in these nations. Our voices must be heard because it's time for a kingdom agenda to be at the forefront.
Even absolutely. But we can influence the heavens with our prayers. That's one aspect of our voice on display. The other part of it is being in these meetings, being at these where laws are legislated, where decisions are made. That's where you found Paul and Silas. When them guys were put in jail because they disrupted an industry, right? They saw something foul, spoke up against it, and found themselves in there. But it is important that we understand the kingdom constitution, which is our Bible, but we also got to understand the dynamics of the law that we are governed by every day, Greg. So absolutely, man.
Wow. Well, listen, man, I want to talk to you because you've got, you're doing some major work, and we have from time to time the opportunity to bounce ideas off of each other. And I don't tell them that you send me an invoice because I wouldn't dare tell them that. But in the meantime, when I'm so grateful for the relationship that we have, because I remember way back when in 2008, I did this workshop at our church called The Influencers. You were one of the speakers. Pastor Mark Griffin was one of the speakers. And Pastor Mark Griffin had just came out with a book called The CEO and Church. And you were going around the nation doing what now has become popular, but it was popular then, but people couldn't embrace the idea of marketplace ministry. Tell us a little bit about what that looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like for those who are listening to our broadcast today.
Yeah, so absolutely. It is from my favorite CEO, and I've got many in our time, but my favorite one is Jesus Christ. I've always said that Jesus was the ultimate CEO. You want to start a movement, did not find one rabbi, one synagogue ruler. He recruited 12 businessmen to bring the realm of the influence, the heavily influenced, and back into the realm of the earth. And so tax collectors and a prominent businessman, what would that look like today for us? I mean, Peter was a prominent man in the fishing industry, which is a dominant industry. Finding your 12, your core, people who have arms in technology, education, government and business, healthcare, man. The things that are really affecting our time. I don't know that he would choose the same 12 today. But in order to leverage your influence, you have to understand the things that influence our time, earthly affairs, and stuff. We go through trends and cycles, and one of those things in marketplace ministry is understanding trends and cycles. We in church call them times and seasons, but it's the same thing, trends and cycles, understanding how money works. We're right now, you and I have conversations often about the new economy that we're in. Like cryptocurrency. I mean, let's just go pitch on it, right? But when the saints don't understand something, they call it a scam, right? And it's just because where have our people been and who understand trade to this dynamic that could give clarity and education and empowerment on it, so that people, when we see something new, hear something that we've never heard of before, we can embrace it. Actually, we should be first, Greg. We
Absolutely.
Be late adapters. We should be first, right, in it. Understanding tax strategies. When Jesus was challenged about paying his taxes, he's like, Peter, go find it in the mouth of a fish. It wasn't just a miracle of money in the mouth of the fish. It was him finding tax strategies in certain industries. So these are the things that also benefit people, because our people are faced with unfair tax laws and having to pay unfair taxes. We're finding ourselves not knowing what to do with our investment. The 401k is not going to be what it was for my father.
Absolutely.
It won't be what it was to my grandmother. And so we're needing to find another safety net for people who don't want to work forever. So that's marketplace ministry, understanding the times that we live in, and we're governing those times. We're stewarding those times. We're leading those times. We're anticipating them, and we're getting people ready to navigate in them, to thrive through them, and not just survive.
Well, man, what I'm so grateful of, I'm grateful of, one, that, our friendship is a friendship that lasted and has lasted even through my times. Your friendship has been there. Even when I was isolated, you were there to say, hey, I'm there for you. And we find in life, we find that your sunshine buddies can't be found on cloudy days. And the Bible says it like this, that he that loveth at all times, and good or bad. So you have been such a blessing to my life. And just today, we were having a conversation, and I invited you to come on, even though I've got to get you on whereby we could stream and do all of that. But you paused in your schedule because you said something today that I thought that those who listen to this broadcast, the 15,000+, needed to hear. And that was, the body of Christ must become more aware of the trends and the cycles that are taking place in the earth realm.
Absolutely. And not just become aware, we need to become the trendsetters.
Wow.
We adapt to them, Greg, but we need to be first. We need to be, he gave us, we're creating in his image, after his likeness, to have rulership and dominion over them. The first miracle of Jesus was not opening the blinded eyes, which would have been fine. Wasn't raising the dead. It was a marketplace miracle, turning water into wine.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Say that again. It was a marketplace ministry miracle. Wow.
It was a marketplace miracle. Turning water into wine. We're so spiritual. We're so scriptural. We forget to be spiritual, because there's a spiritual connotation to the whole miracle of water into wine. Right? And we read that scripture, we try to apply it to, different areas of our lives, and it could be applicable to that. That's the sacred text has that flexibility. But let's just, if you deal with it in the context of its originality, it's a marketplace miracle. And John said he did it that others may believe. That the whole book of John is about belief. All of the miracles he performed, he did it so that others would believe. And we got to become Nick at Night. That third chapter where Nicodemus was like, I got to get out of this synagogue, come have a one-on-one with you. And Greg, you said it. When we did this, we did the Influencers Conference, what was that, 8 years ago?
Yes.
It was only a few people in that room. Only a few. And we scratched our head afterwards, and we wondered why there were not more who wanted the information and the inspiration. But fast forward 8, 9 years later, more and more, I have more and more Nick at Night. I have more and more pastors, I have more and more evangelists who are asking for one-on-ones with me via Zoom, via telephone, to ask, tell me about this kingdom thing in the marketplace now. I think I'm ready to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And when the student is ready, the teacher shows up.
And you know what? Eric, I tell you, man, 8 years ago, we sat down and we said, what we're talking about now, we talked about it 8 years ago, and yet we could not get a room full of leaders in kingdom minded to say and understand that we've got to shift from dancing in the pews to really having impact in the pavement. And the pandemic hit us in a way whereby we have to reshape the vision for how we do ministry.
And see, we had time to prepare. When the market crashed in 2008, the church wasn't ready. The best I heard in 2008, I involuntarily participated in the market crash in a way I wish I could forget. But the best I heard from the church was, you're going to find your Goshen. And again, we turn to the sacred text for things like that because we have no real solution. We have no real strategy. In that pandemic, Dr. Robert Watkins, who's also a marketplace minister, he's actually now married to Pastor Reva Timms and now Reva Watkins in Orlando, said in the heat of the pandemic in America, 1 million new millionaires were made.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They're calling the pandemic the rich man pandemic. Because people didn't make millionaire status, Greg. People made billionaire status in the pandemic.
Absolutely. And really, you and I have been having these conversations, man, throughout the pandemic. And one of the things that I'm grateful of that you kind of like push me to the forefront of, because you understand my skill set, you understand what I did when I was incarcerated, you understand the level of understanding that I have when it comes to the market and when it comes to stocks, foreign exchange, cryptocurrency, and all of that. And you kind of push me you really push me out of a comfort zone to say, Greg, with all that you know, why aren't you leading a movement? Why aren't you trying? And I said to you, just like you said earlier, that when you try to inform, educate, or bring awareness, the first thing our mindset settles in on, it got to be a scam. And we talked about how other ethnic groups are getting rich and richer. Their children are generations of them are getting rich. And we're sitting by, going to church, clapping, shouting, and broke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's not a new trend, Greg. So remember when Moses wanted to pioneer and lead people out of their slavery? It's a mindset shift. They loved the slavery. Remember, by Numbers 11, they were telling Moses, we want to go back to the water that was in the lake. We liked it. We liked that. And what God was trying to do in their diet, keep them versatile by giving them manna every day. And they started complaining about that manna. Like, you couldn't keep it overnight. It was to sustain you for the day. And so the lesson in that today is what sustained us 20 years ago. No. What sustained us 10 years ago will not sustain us today. Definitely, it will be obsolete in another 10 years.
Wow.
We're moving through rapid global change.
Wow.
How you give in your church now. The offering plate, that thing will be gone in a year or two.
Wow.
Right. Cash App is the new, you don't get to press it around and show your shoes and your hat no more at your church.
Wow.
Bitcoin is going to be a way people tithe.
Wow.
Like it or not. It's going to be it is a new currency.
And
because you can't see it, you don't understand it, and it's a quite simple lesson.
And you're traveling all over the nation doing workshops on marketplace ministry, how the currency of our times are changing, how investing, how the kingdom now must take on a new way of seeing how currency is flowing. And you're preparing now for something big. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yes, the Millionaire Move with one of my business partners, Queen Latanya Delos in Jackson, Mississippi. No one needs to get on an airplane or get in a car to drive to Jackson, Mississippi. It's going to be November 19th through the 21st. Registration is 111. The number is 111millionairemoves.com. You can go there and register and attend online. Another young lady understands the scriptures, but we're not just having a Bible study, Greg. This ain't just going to be preaching. There ain't going to be no preaching, actually. We're going to take the Bible and make it relevant today. We're going to show you how we're doing it and others are doing it. Mr. Felix Alexander is another presenter. So the three of us, myself, Latanya Delos, Felix Alexander, who's also a financial educator. That's what we're doing. So this is about financial education. We're not trying to get anything from you. We're trying to get something to you. I'm going to say that one.
Say that again. Say that for the people in the back.
Anything from you. We're trying to get things to you. 78%, Greg, 78% of U.S. citizens live paycheck to paycheck. And if you try to break that dynamic down, you say, well, yeah, there are a lot of people who make low wages, and there should be more higher wages. But 78%, that's 78% of U.S. citizens. So this is not just low-income earners. 6- and 7-figure earners are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay? The other one, argument people would make is, okay, these people are bad money managers. That is the case as well. So we do need to fix our wage issue in this state, in this country. We do need to fix the money management. But the core of the problem is neither you earning low or high wages or money management. The first thing is lack of education, financial education. Most people are financially illiterate. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. So it's 3 days of education and empowerment. Won't be that touch your neighbor stuff, which is all good. That's scriptural, actually. This is going to be grab a pen, write this down. This is going to be grab your mama and your grandma and sit around the dinner table and log in and take copious notes, send in your questions, take answers. Afterwards, we'll have one-on-one to try to get people engaged in some level of transitioning them from useless resources, things that are no longer working, to empower them into things that are working.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to bring you back, and hopefully I'll get a chance to bring one of your partners back with me. Because I just feel that, I mean, even though we were having a conversation today and I wanted to bring you on just to talk about that conversation, but I think this is something that I want to bring you back on next week. And let's just do a segment and let's just talk about what you are going to be talking about, how important it is, because, you know, I even talk with you. And that's what I want to say. You have to have mentors in your life. And it does not matter about age, but it has to be someone who can help you plateau to the next level. And Eric has been a mentor of mine, especially in this space. I've been able to take advice and coaching tips from him that have landed me in a partnership with the former owner of Herbalife, Chris Simonia, and develop a whole education and trading platform to whereby I'm in partnership with, because of this young man's advice as to how I should do it, how I should model it. And the same 12 that Jesus had, he educated, he equipped. He said, Greg, you got to be able to take pastors, educate them and equip them on this new way that currency is flowing. It's a $7 trillion a day market that marketplace ministries get a chance to go to the market to maximize money from the market to have money to do real ministry. So I'm excited about the new launch that I'm about to be bringing. And I'm excited about your insight and your guidance and coaching in this area, because you're doing things with Grant Cardone and so many others.
Looking forward to it, man. You tell me when and I'm there.
Absolutely. Hey, certainly want to thank you so much, Pastor Eric Thomas, for joining us. And we're going to look forward to bringing you back. Is it anything that you would like to say? I know you squeeze for time, but you squeeze some time in. Is there anything that you like to say before I let you go?
Open your ears, open your eyes, take your head out of the sand, be open to embracing what God is doing. What God is doing. Not what we're doing, you're doing, it's what God is doing. That's my only instruction. only call,
Wow.
only petition.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. That's Pastor Eric Thomas. He's an influencer, brand manager. He's a pioneer. He's a marketplace apostle. And certainly we were delighted to have him just share some words with us today. I'm going to be bringing him back and to talk about the Millionaire Conference that is going to be taking place. Hey, once you get a millionaire's mindset, then you begin to see and you begin to know how things are going to change in your atmosphere. If you can see it before you see it, then when you do see it, it won't surprise you. So I'm excited about that. I'm also going to be bringing you some exciting news about what's happening with the marketplace ministry movement that we're about to launch. I was just in conversation with one of my partners today, and he was just sharing with me about this new, listen, I won't even tell you about it, but I made a post about the wealth gap. I made a post the other day about the wealth gap, and we're getting ready to launch a focus group to talk about some of the things that you need to know about when it comes to how money works and how you can bridge that wealth gap. I made a post. I said on the post that, hey, listen, if you want to be a part of our focus group, you want to hear what we're talking about, just for informational sakes and just for comments. And I said, sign in right in the comment. I think 2 people responded. I made another post about something else, and over 100 people responded. And I said, wow, the dynamics of how we see things and how we look at things kind of put me in a place of shock. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to hear more about what we're doing and how we're doing it. Keep it locked right here, 95.3 FM. I want to say good afternoon to none other than Jonathan Rush. How are you? Hey, man, thank you so much. Marcus Manning, Apostle Janet Clary, God bless you. Glad to have you tuned in. Listen, I want you to be blessed. Have an amazing week. Don't forget now, Sunday morning, join us, Life Church International, Facebook Live. It's happening. Want to give a big shout out to Sheriff Walt McNeil, bringing on board the first woman to become assistant sheriff right here in Leon County. Hey, I tell you, he's doing some amazing things, and we're looking forward to what's going to be happening in and around our city. Hey, in the meantime, you be blessed, stay safe, and remember, what God has for you, it has your name on it. So you might as well go ahead on and declare that it's yours. Big shout out to Minister Trina Jackson, who ministered for us last night, Life Church International, and her word to us. And I'm going to say it to you. You are a survivor. What you went through, somebody wouldn't have made it. But because you made it, God has labored you as a survivor. And if you went through that, I come to declare today that you're going to go through this with your head up. Get through it. Until next week, you be blessed.